And the news has come out that Chris Jericho has returned home. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Dr. Wagner Jr. and almost
Almost.
the man who I've always said is almost a wrestler.
What could he have possibly done for the WWE? This is taking one of your top talents. This is the future of your women's division, and you almost ended it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nation Network. Brand new set, brand new look, a little bit cleaner, I think, and I'm definitely getting the Tron light cycle vibes right now, but I like that, so. Welcome back to the Nation Network. I am Vince McSham, and joining me here just a moment will be my sidekick, and we are here to do the Wrestlechat thing. Now, for those of you that were around for the last stream, you know what I said, and I meant what I said. I am done with the modern-day product. That said, things are going to show up on social media lines, those little 10, 15-second clips that show up on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and I may react to those. And that's kind of what today is going to be a little bit about, as well as following up on the last stream so far as the subject of the firings that took place. Because there was one name in there that I glossed over, and I feel terrible about it because that was all on me. I don't know how I didn't connect dots. But it was afterwards, and again, social media, and I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah. But before we get into all that fun and game stuff, I would like to take a moment to bring in my sidekick, my partner in crime, the one, the only, J-Rocks. Say hello, Jay.
Hello, Jay.
Say it again.
Hello, Jay.
All right, there we go. How'd that get muted? That's weird. Very strange. You know what? I think I know what happened there. So maybe in the future you don't have to mute your microphone. I can do it from this end, possibly. I don't know. Oh, look at that. That's an idea. Let me just move that to the front of the list, though. It'll be easier to find that way. All right. Well, Andrew Roberts is already here. Welcome aboard. Miracle, of course, is always here. And I'm hearing the word echo, or I'm reading the word echo. What's echoing?
Me?
I don't know yet. Let me pull up the stream. That's not the stream. Give us a second. Shouldn't be echoing. I can't imagine why it's echoing. Unless, I don't think so, though. But, oh, maybe that's why I had you. Well, let me check. No, because that wouldn't be. And that shouldn't affect anything.
Miracle says I'm echoing.
Hold on while I figure something out here, because it doesn't make sense. All right, hold on. Maybe it was while you were muted then. Let me go back to... All right, so go ahead and say something.
Something?
All right, yeah, you should be coming through now without an echo. If you guys can confirm that, that would be awesome. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble pulling up my own page. But I thank you for the early warning on that. We didn't go an hour into the damn program. Hey, I can't hear Jay.
Right.
Not like that's ever happened before, except once.
Echo.
Hold on one second.
But I thank you for the early warning on that. We didn't go an hour into the damn program. Hey, I can't hear Jay. Right. Not like that's ever.
All right, sounds good now to me. If there's still an echo, let me know, but I'm going to say that I think we got it taken care of, and now that is why that one was muted on this end. That makes sense. All right. I can pull up the chats here. All right, we should be good to go. All right, sorry for the delay. Going back to the last stream and the cuts that took place, which they do every year after Mania, we know that. The one name that I really glossed over, and I don't know why, I guess I was just thinking about her from the roster, like the video game aspect of the roster, not realizing the role she's currently playing. And that's Alba Fire. And I was like, what the hell has she done? Well,
yes.
Yeah, she's kind of Chelsea's last remaining Slagent right now, or she was.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah,
sure
you know,
Chelsea can go out and get a
neck injury.
yeah, and I'm sure she can go out and get herself another one or two. But at this time, do you even want that role? It doesn't seem too safe. You might as
And
well.
Chelsea even said something like that in her post. You know, she's like, "This was my girl. This was my backup," and you know, so
Yeah, and Chelsea's as over as it gets. And
yeah.
what's Alba doing other than backing her up, taking some falls, doing her dirty work for her? But man, it's like I can't believe you guys are gonna just. It's not that I don't believe it. I do believe it because the consistency is that the TKO just doesn't give a fuck about none of it. Hold that thought a minute. Know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run and never count your money. Sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the deal's done. Ken Rogers in the house. What's up? All right, as we were saying, being a Slagent's a tough job. Almost as bad as being like Secret Service for Trump lately, you know?
It just, the thing that got me is like they got rid of people who are in active storylines. Alba's with Chelsea. You get rid of Kairi Sane, who's the focal point in the Asuka EO fucking storyline.
Is she?
It's the she was supposed to be.
No, because if she was, they wouldn't.
That was my take on the storyline.
If she was, they wouldn't have cut her loose. Let's take a look at something.
Okay.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
While I whip this out. Anybody remember this from a couple weeks ago? Kairi, I mean, what in the hell do you want from this girl? You put her in this role of being a battered victim in a domestic dispute or whatever you want to call it. And she's selling the shit out of it. Absolutely selling the shit out of it. And you feel all this emotion for her, and you want EO to come to her rescue and break her away from this abusive relationship, and then you fire her, and it doesn't even come to fruition. Now, this shit should have happened at Mania.
And that's the lot. See, when I saw that Rhea won and went to SmackDown, that was my saying, okay, they're going to progress with the storyline, is because they've taken Rhea away from EO. Now EO can focus on Kairi, and yeah, then she gets fired. So, well done, WWE TKO, for fucking up another storyline.
Well, I don't think it's done. I'm almost willing. I'm almost willing to bet money she's going to be back within a week, because the social media outpouring for her has been record-setting. It has been the #1 trending hashtag for days. It is, even with Trump being shot at again, Kairi is way at the top of the list. And by the way, when we talk about what's a more dangerous job, being a slagent for Chelsea or being an agent for Trump, Trump hasn't lost anyone. Chelsea's down 2, so I might rather be Secret Service.
Yeah. It's just, how many times can they do this before it just, I don't know. It's like they can't. They are no longer in touch with their fucking audience. They haven't been in for forever, and they do this shit. Same with Ron. You know.
Well, let's be honest though. TKO never gave a shit about the audience. The only people that ever cared was back in the McMahon WWE owned days. The minute they sold the company, any of that shit was gone, man. They told you right from the get-go. They announced when they made the sale that there's a lot of missed opportunities here that we're looking to take advantage of. And it's all about money. That's all they care about. And they've proven it time and time again. They are just willing to do whatever they have to do to separate anyone they can with any dollar they have. So that's never changed since the day they made that purchase. It's just a lot more obvious right now
Yeah.
and ugly.
Well, we'll see. I'd be really surprised if they bring her back.
Oh, they're going to bring her back.
Because, like you said,
They're going to bring her back.
TKO just.
Yep, she's coming back. I guess. Well, they brought back R-Truth. And his numbers were nowhere near as
But like,
his numbers were nowhere near as big as what she's getting right now when it comes to these hashtags. She's got at least a 30% more on top of what he did, and they brought him back.
okay.
And guess what else they did?
All right.
They sold merch. Again, it's all I care about. Hell, maybe this was a ploy just to sell Kyrie Sane merch. Who knows? Well, we'll find out. I guess the time will tell, as they say. Ken brings up an interesting point as well, that the tag team division is taking a hell of a hit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, Motor City Machine Guns weren't going to get the titles back, and they are a great team, but then you're at the point now in your WWE career where all you were going to do is get beat in any meaningful matches. So, why? You know,
Yeah, so you bring him in for a year and then get rid of him. Same with Alistair. You bring him back for a fucking year, don't do anything with him, and then you fucking let him go. If I was talent, once I was let go, I wouldn't fucking go back because you're not going to fucking use me. So why do I go back? I'll pull a Karrion Kross and work the independents and fucking make a shit ton of money there. Screw the major companies, they can go fuck themselves.
Ken says that Stardom or Marigold would take her gladly. I'm not even familiar with Marigold, to be honest with you. Stardom, of course, I do know.
Marigold, one of the founders of Stardom, left and started Marigold on his own. So it hasn't been around. It's been around probably about, I want to say about 3 years now.
Okay.
But it's just now getting traction.
Fair enough. They based in the U.S. or overseas?
It's based in Japan.
Okay.
Just like Stardom.
Right. But again, this is why I don't know a lot about them. Ken, I disagree with you on that, though. He says that Motor City should have stayed in TNA. No. They've been in TNA for most of their careers, realistically. So for them to go to the main event, so to speak, to the big show, and then right away get the World Tag Team titles, that had to be a bucket list item, I would think. Any wrestler going in back in the day wanted to wrestle in the WWF, WWE. Today, here's the thing, though. And again, TKO is so narrow-minded that, and it won't affect them because they're going to sell the company off. But the people that got into wrestling in the old days, up until maybe the last 5 years, the goal was always to make it to the WWE because that is the pillar. That is the pinnacle. That is when you're amongst the best at what you do. And I don't think that exists anymore. I don't think people come in wanting to go to the WWE anymore because they're horrible. They treat people horrible. They don't secure their own people when they're in Vegas, so they got all these people rushing up on them, and there's no security. They don't pay for their hotels. Now, granted, that's a thing in wrestling that has always been as long as time until Tony Khan got involved. Not a knock on him. Hey, paying talents hotel rooms and their rental cars and shit, that's a good move. If you had any friggin' clue on how to book a show, you'd have a hell of a promotion there. Yeah, I mean, look, somebody like Kyrie's got connections anywhere in Japan. I mean, she just picks up a phone, she'll get a hold of whoever she wants.
Right.
And I do agree that Motor City will almost definitely go back to TNA, and they should. That should be where they wrap up their career.
Right.
Plus, right now, TNA has a little bit more money. Here's the thing. With all these people being let go, and we touched on this a little bit in the last stream I did, you've got Lucha Underground making a return of some sort in somewhere along the lines of the near future. We don't know exactly when and where. But they're going to need talent. And I thought it was pretty interesting that they would make the announcement in the same week as all the cuts, which we all knew the cuts were coming because it's an annual event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the wrestlers will tell you that, at at the end of Mania and the next night at Raw and all that stuff, you hug each other goodbye a little longer because you don't know. And that's kind of what I was feeling like was going on with that. And I also agree, unifying tag team belts across, right now there's only women's tag team, like one tag team champions, right? There's not SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No.
And they should do the same thing. I've always said it. And they should do the same thing with the world title. There shouldn't be two world titles. It's a joke. It's stupid. It's under one banner, two different shows because somebody didn't want to, back in the day, as Paul Heyman says, Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays.
Right.
One world title. Otherwise, it's not a world title.
Yep.
WWE Unified Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Stop the shit. One title. Now, if you want to have a brand championship,
Yeah.
fine. It's a belt. And honestly, I think the fact that you have that many belts says more about your failure in booking and writing that you feel you need that. Have the champion switch back and forth every week. 1 week on Raw, 1 week on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Or, like the old days, both. They're getting paid.
Yeah.
They're getting buses, private jets. You want the job or you don't want the job? I can't tell my boss what days I want to work. Of course, I can now. I don't have a boss, but that's besides the point.
I was about to say, yeah.
I can tell my boss whatever I want. Hey, fuck you. No, fuck you. I do think TNA is going to be very exciting to watch.
If you,
Hmm?
I was going to say, with the tag belts, if you wanted to, just have it be for all three brands. I mean, you can have your tag champions go between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And just have that be your tag titles for all three brands, and then same with the women. And then you have enough tag teams at that point. Well, I don't know, because NXT, they got rid of ODM in this cut. So, they still got a couple tag teams down there in NXT, so I guess it would work.
It's also developmental territory, so I feel like they probably do need their own. But that all said,
technically, no. Evolve is their developmental territory now.
no, that's their developmental territory for the developmental territory. Which it really is. I mean,
that was
but here's the sad thing. You got people coming out of Evolve that are better than NXT.
Yes.
What's the girl's name? I'm drawing a blank right now. Gray? What's her name?
Yeah.
She has a first
Kendall.
name. Kendall Gray, thank you. Girl's
Kendall.
damn good.
Yeah. And she's an independent product.
I'm just saying. The brand titles could be the U.S. and the IC. You know what? I like that. I like that. Good shot right there, Miracle. I like that. OTM got cut? No, they didn't get cut. OTM didn't get cut.
No. It was it. No. I misspoke. Now that I think about it, it was the two guys that was with Wes Lee. They're the two. They're the tag team that got cut.
Yeah, I got nothing. I couldn't even tell you who it is. Again, my
Right.
point exactly.
So that was my fault, guys. I said the wrong name.
All right, so we're gonna add Jay to the
I didn't
cuts.
think about it.
We're gonna add Jay's name to the cuts. You're up there with Kyrie saying though.
Well,
You're in
if
good
you had me
company.
on the show, if you had me on the show more often, I wouldn't be so rusty. God
You stopped
damn it.
watching the product. I was like, what were we gonna talk about? You weren't watching it.
I wasn't watching the actual shows, but I like you.
Yeah, that's what I'm
still
talking
catch the
about.
Clips and stuff.
No, but I was actually watching this shit. I just didn't like it. Oh, God Almighty!
I
High
can't,
Rise? What the hell is
I
that?
just I can't. They're the two that were with Wes Lee.
Man, I'm so out of it. I never even heard that name. Never even heard it. But I did stop watching NXT because it just wasn't doing anything for me. Months ago. And every once in a while, I try to watch it again, and I'm like, yeah, I miss the very early, probably first 2 years of NXT, back with the black and gold over at Full Sail University. I loved that shit. It was great with William Regal.
Yeah.
That was good shit. And I keep saying it, and I'll keep on saying it. Whatever year, and it was somewhere near 17, 18, I'm somewhere in that ballpark. Whenever Bailey's class graduated, it was never good for me after that. It just, it petered off, and then finally just went and did a Chase U crash into the ground. I look at Chase U, and I see Duke the Dumpster Drozy all over again. That's, to me, what it is. It's like, I have zero interest in this. Like when he got fired. Yeah, he should have been fired a year ago. When did you ever think you were going to book Potsy Weber in a meaningful way?
I don't know. I looked at it more as a comedic thing, and I was okay with it. But when they tried to, because I liked the skits and stuff, so that was fine for me. But yeah, as a talent, yeah, he's a little tough to book. Not that he can't wrestle, but what other gimmick are you going to give him?
We'll find out when he gets to TNA and he's a mid-carder there. Oh, Ken, yes, we actually on the last episode I talked all about Sol Ruca and that whole incident, and it got kind of heated.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually, if you even check out the new intro to this show, that's one of the clips that's in there. And this is one of the reasons. That's actually the reason why I stopped watching WWE now. Because I've been saying this about AEW for how long? I'm not watching them because it's garbage wrestling. You got people like Darby and Moxley doing these ridiculous things that have nothing to do with wrestling, that are just going to get somebody crippled if not killed. And now the WWE is doing the same thing over and over again. Io should be dead. She's got to be a cat in a former life because she's already used at least 7 of her 9. How many weeks in a row can you land on your head on the concrete floor and still live? I don't know. And then what they did to Saul, or allowed Saul to do, in my opinion, if you allowed it, you did it. If you give a little kid a penny and say, I wonder what happened if you put it in that light socket, and you don't stop him, you did it.
Right.
Everything about that spot was horrible. The way the tables were set up was horrible. The fact that she's almost 12 to 15 feet in the air was stupid as hell. And that's the future of your women's division that you are throwing to the ground, literally. I guarantee you she wanted to do it or she was okay with it, but no.
See, after the last stream, I went back and rewatched that clip, and I can come up with 10 different ways that spot could be done safely. You know, after the hug, have Zarya back up, headbutt her, and actually throw her off so she gets the fucking distance to hit both fucking tables.
No, you ain't getting me to do that.
One.
I'm going to trust her.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to trust another person to give me the right amount of push? No, I'm going to do it myself, thank you, if I'm doing that shit.
Well, technically, if you're doing that, you are the one jumping off. They've just got their hands on you, making it look like they threw you. But anyways, I'm just saying, there's other ways they could have done that spot.
Or here's an idea.
Tables, and it'd been fine.
Maybe they could have not done the spot because you didn't need to, because they're that good at wrestlers that they could have told the story in the ring. Is that a possibility, or am I just crazy that way?
You're just crazy that way.
That's
never going to be a possibility, not in this day and age.
Well,
you've got to have your high spots. That's what these fans want anymore, is those high spots.
Fuck the fans.
They're not old school.
Fuck the fans.
I understand that.
Let me explain. Let me try it this way for you. You know, way back in the day during the Monday Night Wars, Sting had that pretty impressive entrance that he would always make once he went to the Crow gimmick, right?
Right.
Who's doing that entrance now? Nobody. Why? Because of Owen.
I wouldn't have done.
Because of Owen.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
And no one will ever do it again because of Owen. So, if Saul would have ended up dead, God forbid, we wouldn't be doing those spots anymore. So we have to wait for someone to die. Then we'll stop doing it. And then we'll find out how to tell a story in the ring. I just can't. I'm having all these flashbacks. When I saw that clip, I didn't see the match. When I saw the clip, I had these flashbacks to Disney where I was out there with 2 other managers on a regular basis telling our upper management that we needed to change our signage that said, don't feed wildlife, with a picture of a duck on it. And tell them, listen, these kids are reaching through the gate feeding alligators. And they're not pet alligators. We need signs that make people understand the threat that exists. Oh, we don't want to scare people. Fast forward a year later, there's a dead kid because over at one of the Disney resorts, it comes up and grabs him off the little beach and drags him into the lagoon while his dad tries to fight him off. About a month after that, all waterfront areas and all hotel resorts is got rope all the way around it, this rope netting. It's got these yellow and red warning signs every 10 feet. It looks like somebody spilled plutonium. And then even about 8 months later, one night at midnight, me and a security guy are out there with flashlights trying to locate somebody's missing wedding ring. People walk by. Are you guys looking for alligators? They're afraid of the friggin' alligators. That's their first thought now because of what you allowed to happen that was completely avoidable. And now you got all the signs changed. So everyone has to wait until it happens to fix it. How many times you go to a traffic intersection, there should be a light here. And finally, there is one. Why? Because there's a number of deaths that must take place before we can afford a light. That's an actual thing. When you talk to your county administrator, why isn't there a light here? Well, right now, it's just not something that's in the budget. It's not in the budget. Well, once they pay off enough lawsuits for not having one up there, then it's in the budget.
Well, can't do a lawsuit because they're independent contractors. So,
oh, really?
Until that changes.
You talked to Martha?
Yeah.
You talked to Martha Hart about that? She got a lawsuit. She won.
Saying.
She won it. You cannot. There is no way for you to protect yourself. First off, they wouldn't even make that argument because they would lose all around. If they are independent contractors, you cannot treat them the way you do. You can't tell them they can't go pick up an independent date. They're independent contractors. They're not working this day. They're allowed to go. But you can't when you're in the WWE. So they can't make any arguments or legal fights about you being an independent contractor without having to let them be independent contractors. And they're not going to do that. So that's why they settle out of court with Martha. And they're going to settle out of court with Saul's family if she was dead. Or her if she was paralyzed.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. It has to come down to that, though.
And Kenny, you're right. Yes, it was the last woman standing match, but Jesus Christ, she was almost not standing permanently. Her head, the way her head snapped off that second table, Jesus Christ.
And not for
I've
anything.
got neck injuries from wrestling on the independent circuit, and that's because I did stupid shit like jumping off of balconies into the ring because the ladder broke and we couldn't get up to get the title belt. So yeah, I get that shit. I understand where Vince is coming from. You know, I have injuries from just working independence for 5 years, and I'll have these injuries for the rest of my fucking life because I did dumb shit.
Do you have any video of this dumb shit you did?
I've got DVD somewhere. I'd have to dig through so much stuff to find it, but I'll find it.
Man, if I was you, I'd have that stuff readily available. If you find it, let me know, man. We'll find a way to scan it in.
I will.
That'd be fun to take a look at. Here's Jay. Let's show you what went wrong.
No shit.
We'll do the telestrator.
It's yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like I can think back to numerous spots because my younger wrestled with me, and it was just stupid the shit we did. We were trying to be the fucking Hardy Boys 2.0. So we're going through tables. We're fucking jumping off the top of the ring to the outside. We're doing all kinds of stupid shit. And then when he left because his wife got pregnant and I was by myself, that's just where I went off the edge. We did a show out in a restaurant parking lot one year, and I got put through the windshield of a car that was there. After that match, I went to the hospital directly. I've got scars on my body. I look like fucking Sabu and shit.
Well, it's a rough business,
Ken,
that's for sure.
You're right. They could have done an F5. Yeah, she could have F5'd her through a table and ground level, and that could have ended the match. You're right. So there's another way the match could have ended. And it'd been
There's a million ways. Let's put it this way. How many last person standing matches have we seen? And how many of them had to come off a 15-foot tall platform? That I know of, none. Even when you, and I mentioned this also, even when you go back, I recall, and I don't remember what the match itself was all about. Maybe it was the last man, I don't know. But I just remember the Big Show and Shane McMahon climbing a scaffolding at a pay-per-view. And Shane was sent probably a good 25 feet down into a big black box, which of course had a crash pad on it. There was a light plywood on top of it, painted black. And then it went through and there's a crash pad underneath it, which you don't see from the camera angle. But that's how you do that. And you could have done that. But again, they don't care. Somebody does not care.
Right.
That anyone looked at that and said, she'll be all right. Again, why would I want to work for a company like that? The money's the money, I guess. But tell that to LA Knight, who at this point in time, I got a funny feeling I can't speak for the man, but I got to think he's wanting out of his contract. You see what they're doing to him now? They're feeding him to Gunther. I mean, come on, man. You guys are just ridiculous. Yeah, it was Shane versus Big Show. I forget what event. I don't think it was Mania. I think it was like a Backlash or something like that. But it was a long time ago, and it was a long way down.
Yeah.
Ken wants to know what your wrestling name was.
Oh, it was Nathan Alexander.
Damn. Sounds very British of you.
I know. And when my twin boys were born, that's their middle names. It's Luke Nathaniel and Cole Alexander. So.
Yeah, Ken, they were writing off characters for sure. Joe Hendry also got squashed. In all honesty, I saw the clip, and I felt like that should be his role. The fact that they ever try putting a title on him, I don't see. Jay, how long have I said this? In the beginning, we both liked him. We liked the song. It was fun.
Yeah.
And when he first came on to Impact, now it's not he was on Impact or TNA way before then, but I wasn't watching back then. But when he made his return to the States about 3 or 4 years ago, and, they had that goofy song, which wasn't a big hit at that time. It was relatively new, I guess. And all of a sudden he'd pop out from a cabinet somewhere or out of a bathroom closet or whatever, and say his name, and he appeared, and boom, and that goofy smile on his face. It was so stupid that it was somewhat funny and entertaining. But you can only find so much entertainment in Mr. Sacco. You know what I'm saying? It has its moment, but it doesn't deserve a belt, and it shouldn't be like having a 15-minute match. I think his promos are okay. They're not great. They're just there. 6 out of 10, maybe. I think his wrestling's about a 7 out of 10, maybe. His look is about a 7 out of 10. It's like booking a gallon of milk. It's good for you. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'd rather have a beer. What say you?
I don't know. I still like Joe. I mean, there's just something about the character I like. So, I mean,
we'll check back with you in another month or so and see how that's going.
But I mean,
what could you possibly do with him on the main roster? What could you do with him on the main roster? Who are you going to put him with? With the idea that he has to win it because he's new.
He will be a U.S. title winner, I guarantee you.
You remember when those titles were supposed to mean something? Like the Intercontinental was the workhorse championship, and you should want that title. A lot of people wanted it more than the world title.
Yeah, that was about 10 years ago. Yeah.
And well, in all the years leading
They're
up to
just
10
props
years
now.
ago.
They have no meaning anymore.
I know. And how did that happen? By giving it to Joe Henry.
Right. That's what
I'm saying you gave it to Joe Hendry's. There's a bunch of Joe Hendry's. You've given him the title. Just look up the list. I'm not saying there's no good names on that list, but you can't lack consistency. You know, you look at the Intercontinental title when it meant something. It was going to some of the top performers.
Right.
You had Pedro Morales, you had Don Morocco, you had Tito Santana, went to the Macho Man, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat. It meant something. Hell, when it went to Honky Tonk, I thought it was going to Joe Henry, but he made it work.
He did. Yes.
Shocked me, but he did it.
Rick Rude held the Intercontinental.
Again, workers, Ultimate Warrior, Rick Rude.
Yeah.
Not that the Warrior's ever going to be considered a worker, but he was a big deal. Okay, so that in itself.
Draw.
And he went on to use that title, held that title while he captured the world title. What does that make it? It makes it the stepping stone to the best title there is. It has value.
Right.
Shortly thereafter, they laid it out in the ring, got the whole locker room around, and they all peed on it. And then Vince took a shit on it because that's what he does, apparently. And the Intercontinental title, I mean, as much as Miz tried, and I love him for it, again, one person is not going to make it happen. It has to have a succession of legitimate talent, and it has to mean something. When you look at Intercontinental Champion, you look at a Sol Ruca. Now that the women have a version of it. And do I feel Becky Lynch is the workhorse? Maybe 10 years ago. Maybe 5 years ago. Today? No. Come on. Do I think AJ Mendez? No. No. And that's why it doesn't mean anything. Successively, you've given it to people that cannot put a value to it. It's a trophy piece. It's something we're going to fight over. That's it. Did those two ladies need that?
And not only,
Good.
I was going to say, and not only that, if you think back to like when Pedro and all of them guys had the Intercontinental title, they held it for months. I mean, 10, 12, 13 months defending it
Minimum.
to build them up to go to that next level. They don't do that now. You're lucky if you don't see a title change in like 2 months with it, and it's stupid. If you want to use the Intercontinental, if they want, say, okay, let's say Obafemi gets the Intercontinental title, he needs to hold that bitch for 13 months, and then have him lose to somebody under him to go after, or do a fucking Ultimate Warrior. Let him hold it, go beat whoever's the fucking champion, and then say, I'm not going to carry both belts now, and relinquish the Intercontinental title, and then you move on to the next person to do it.
Miracle,
Don't
I
have him
agree.
in it 2 months and then lose and then think, oh, this guy's going to.
Miracle, I agree with you, man. That type of gimmick has a ceiling, and I think that ceiling's already been reached, quite honestly. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. I think you already got Danhausen. I don't see why you need another one. And to me, Joe Henry's a different version, but still it's a Danhausen. It's a novelty act. It's a gimmicky thing. I think to myself, if I were in charge of creative over there and booking and all, if I had the Triple H hat, I'd have a sit down with this guy and see how serious he is about being this Joe Henry character. Because, and I don't even know you can make it work, to be honest with you, but I would look at him more as a ringmaster and see what we could do with that, in that you're going to be a grappler and a really good grappler, and you're going to have those kind of matches that people will talk about. Hey, that was a great wrestling match. And you're not going to wear these goofy shorts. We'll get you some either full length or what the regular briefs type, but we're going to make you look like a fucking wrestler. And we're going to get you a much better song that's going to have like a UFC vibe to it or something like that. And you're going to come out here and you're going to out wrestle people. And we'll see how that goes. But I just don't see him in this shtick on the main roster. That's going to go down fast. And we'll see if I'm right or wrong. I'm already over it. And I was a fan. Ken Rogers says, Joe Henry Matthew didn't make no sense, though. Help me. Where'd the Matthew come from? Did I miss something? Which I'm sure I did.
I think he meant Joe. I think he meant Joe Henry Match, not Matthew.
Oh, I was going to say, did they try changing him up already and I missed it? Damn it. Well, they might as well have called him Matthew. I mean, at this point, do something with the guy because
I can't like fat finger texting, so.
Or if you're just speaking it in there, it always changes your words up on you, boy. Oh, boy.
It does.
Be careful what you send to your mother-in-law sometimes. They're going to make Shiloh Hill and Tatum Paxley a couple soon. We're talking about the write-offs last episode about the cuts and the 5 or 6 names that were listed there from the LFG brand, one of which was Tyra May Steele, who was the Olympian who won season 1, which I was like, no way, man. No way. Then I'm like, okay, but where is the runner-up to season 1 who also didn't win season 2 when she was the heavy favorite going in? And in all honesty, didn't deserve to win season 2. As much as a fan of hers as I was, talking about Xena, who was Bully Ray's project back in season 1. So she didn't get fired. I guess that's a good thing. But where is she? Is she doing Evolve? Is she anywhere? I haven't seen or heard of her. What I love about the girl, she's not bad in the ring. I don't like her outfits at all. Oh, my God. She's got a stocky build to her. You know, she's a strong girl. She's not fat. She's just strong. And then she wears these little tutu dresses. And I'm like, no. Ballerina don't work for you, girl. Baby, that's not going to be your thing, baby. That's not your thing. We got to get you with something that shows that you're going to be fucking some people up, baby. That you're going to kick some booty footy. No, you got to put her in something that looks kind of like a natty outfit, you know, like an Ultimate Fighter. I'm going to fuck you up and you're just going to wish you never were born. But what I love about her.
Like the One Piece,
Yeah. What I love about her is that during the show, they would talk to her and Bully would be like, where'd you get that from? Oh, I was watching this match with Eduardo Carpentier. And he's like, what? She would go back and watch. That's why when I jump on Kenny Baum, it's because you ain't a wrestling fan. Now, granted, she's doing it for a living, but there's a lot of women, Lacey Evans, that got in the business and never knew about anyone who wrestled before them. Whereas she's going back and watching these old matches and learning from them. And I respect the shit out of that. I want someone like that to do very well. And I would like to, and she's definitely got the talent to be on at least the NXT brand, although I'm starting to feel that's almost as watchable as AEW. Ken Rogers says, trunks or tights? I'm going with tights. I see tights, especially if you were to go like all black, it's a little bit more slendering, and he's not fat in any way, shape, or form, but it'll give him a little more height look to him. I think. Keith O'Toole's in the house.
And
it says Danhausen and Miz thing on SmackDown is really strange but great. Dude, Miz, I'm trying to think of a time when Miz was just horrible or hard to watch, and I can't think of one.
He is one of those that you can give him shit and he will find a way to make it work. And
it's good. It's not shit when he gets done with it.
No, No, that's what I'm saying. If it was anybody else doing with this with Danhausen, it would be shit.
Yeah.
But he has that way of making it fucking work.
He's
Not
He's
like
dusty
it
with the
from
polka dots.
jump.
He's dusty with the polka dots.
Yes.
And Danhausen, I'll tell you what, you talk about somebody rebounding from that friggin' entrance in Chicago where he got booed out the building.
Yeah.
And I don't care how you want to twist it. Even he said in an interview that he thought the fans were booing because they wanted more than just me to come in the ring and then poof, disappear. And I'm like, no, that's not why they were booing. Y'all stop candy coating that shit. They booed because you sold them a bill of goods and you didn't deliver.
Yeah. You were not Jericho. That's it. Plain and simple.
But yeah, I would definitely go with the tights personally. Yeah, the United States Open Challenge and the IC belt should be defended. Sports Machine. Yeah, I can see that in a way. I mean, I like the Open Challenge because I'm always been a fan. Like in the old days of pay-per-views, there was just always a surprise that was going to happen, whether it's somebody we hadn't seen in a long time or somebody we certainly didn't expect that was going to come in and do what they did, you know, whether it's a heel turn or something like that, or somebody just joined the promotion that we didn't know, because back then you could actually keep a secret with no social media. Unlike Paige at WrestleMania, which was completely fucked up. So having anything that's a surprise is a plus. Having mystery opponents, I like it because you haven't had a week to sit down and think about it, dissect it, and say this is going to suck. Or this is going to be really good, and then it's not. It just happens,
Right.
And let's roll with it. So I'm all about that. But the person wearing the belt has got to, they say the belt doesn't make the person. Okay. But then why are you putting it on people that can't make the belt? Because now the belt has no meaning, and when you do give it to somebody good, they got to start from scratch. That's the difference. The old Intercontinental title back in the day was handed off to the next talent from the talent. It didn't have to be pulled out of the slog, cleaned off, wiped down, and then polished up, and then finally presented. No, it was already shiny. And they don't have that no more. They just don't have that. Ken Rogers agrees that the shorts on Henry looks off, and I've felt that way for a very long time. It's like, man, that's just not a good look. And the color scheme, too, doesn't work. Ken was using the microphone to text. There you go. How do I know technology so well, and yet I don't?
Yeah.
Tyra May looked
I
good.
just know when I text my.
Tyra May looked good, but here's the thing. I don't feel like pro wrestling was in her. I just never got that vibe. I know she wanted to win. I know she wanted to, take that Olympic medal and blah, 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 and go. I never got the feeling that this is what I want to be. I got a feeling she's going to show up in reality, or what is that, RAF wrestling, the amateur stuff with Bischoff. Reality, not a reality of wrestling. Real American freestyle. Real American freestyle.
Right.
I can see her showing up there. And that'd be a great fit. I mean, presuming she can compete at that level, which I think she can, right? She won for Olympics in wrestling, no? I think she was an Olympic wrestler.
I believe so, yeah.
So if that is the case, then she should be fine.
I remember somebody. I thought they were going to build her as the female Kurt Angle. Is what I thought.
Well, I mean, they were going to build her as the female Kurt Angle, but it's WWE, so she could have been an Olympic power lifter, and she had an Olympic gold medal like Angle, and now we're going to make her a great wrestler. But I would think she won in wrestling because that's just my memory says. But my memory.
Well, no, I thought she did win in wrestling. That was the whole thing. Was she did like Kurt? She won the Olympic medal for wrestling, but she was a female. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Retro Yeah, the Kyrie Sane thing being fired does suck. I'm telling you right now, she's going to get hired back very quickly. This hashtag campaign is blowing up big, and it's lasting for days and days and days. I'll tell you what's going to matter is tonight. If that audience hijacks the show, that is going to help. If they don't get results, if they do that and don't get results and they do it again on Friday, it's almost going to force their hand. But they got R-Truth back with a lot less. And he had a campaign, too. And people got behind and fought for him to come back. You know, what I thought was interesting, and I think she's that smart, is when she got released, she did her obligatory thank you for all the opportunities thing. I'll be setting sail for home on my time. I'm sure people talked to her and said, girl, don't go too far yet. The fans are not going to put up with this. Chill out. Take a couple of weeks off. Rest up. We'll see you in a few weeks. And I think that's what's going to happen. Keith O'Toole's in the house. Welcome, buddy. Love the special NWA Legends on Saturday. Thank you. What did you like about it? I had a great time putting that all together. I talked about a couple weeks back about the abilities that we have now with AI to help create cutscenes that obviously the game doesn't have, and things that I can do with AI that I can't do in the game, simply like even answering a phone call, kind of simple stuff like that, right? But it costs money. It does. So if you guys are interested in contributing to the cost, it's like $192 a year for the AI that I'm looking at that I think would be able to provide us with cutscenes and other scenes. And there's another little project I'm kind of starting to work on now that would really benefit from it. But at this point in time, it's got to be a group effort. So if you guys are in the position to contribute any amount of money, as soon as we hit the 192, I will let you all know that we're not taking any more. But there's a link in the description down below to the PayPal account if you are interested in contributing. And that's the game plan right now. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, well, the newest magazine came out yesterday. So if you've read the magazine, then you probably know. But we played out the last of the whodunit scenario for Jim Cornette. We now know who done it, or at least we think we do. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it here. So you can look at the last video from Saturday at the Omni and find out for yourself who done it. But thank you, Keith, for watching that. I appreciate it. WWE should have brought over the WCW TV title. Yeah, dude, it's like the more and more that I do my Saturday shows and have, like, Orndorff right now has a TV title, I'm like, how did they never think, especially back then when they had a lot of TV stuff going on. You had your Saturdays regularly back in the day. But even now, you still have, nobody watches it, but you got Main Event, and you had Sunday Night Heat back in the day, and you had all these TV shows that would have benefited from a traveling champion that would go to show and defend the damn thing once in a while.
And that's another one that you could, like, one week they're on Raw, next week they're on SmackDown, next week they're on NXT, and just keep it and then defend it at the pay-per-view, and stuff like that. So every week they could be at one of the other shows and just keep defending it.
See, I'd almost say not to defend it at the premium events, only because that's got everyone else's titles on the line there.
Oh, okay.
That might be where you're in a tag match or something like that. Or maybe you just take the day off because you've already been wrestling every other week.
That's true, yeah.
She's supposed to be American female wrestler to win the gold medal. Okay. Oh, she the first American female ever? Is that what it is? Okay. I knew there was something that stood out about her accomplishment other than the gold medal itself. But yeah, I never got a single feeling that, other than she just did not want to lose the television programming wise, she did not want to lose because of her credentials. But I never got the feeling that, man, I want to be a pro wrestler for the rest of my life. I never got that vibe from her.
Right.
Keith, I missed the Freebirds match. Well, that wasn't supposed to be the Freebirds match. It was supposed to be the Midnight Express's match, but shit happens around here. It's video on demand, brother. You can go back watch it if you want. It was a good match. Shocked that Brock's career is over following Mania. We're still not 100% sure on that. I'll be really disappointed if he comes back. This was the perfect way to end it. You'll never do it again. So you still took the loss, which we know you're going to take a loss at SummerSlam if you decide. So you took the loss, and you did it for someone who needed it. Okay, this helped Oba. That's the next generation. That is the Intercontinental title. That is taking something already developed, already a product with a name recognition, a value to it, and handing it in great shape to the next person. And if you bring him back just to have Gunther squash him, you tarnish that. And in doing that, you kind of tarnish Oba a little bit too, through no fault of his own.
Yes.
So I hope, and everything about the stories coming out from Mania, there was whether you believe who or who you don't believe, there those that say that Triple H knew, and there's some that say Triple H was a little surprised. And there were things that I didn't catch originally. We all know when the referee throws up the X signal that means somebody's legitimately hurt. Well, Brock did it at the end of the match.
Right.
And I didn't think nothing of it. I thought it was weird, but I didn't think nothing of it. And now they're saying that was the sign to the truck and to the back that this is a shoot. This is real. Not fucking around.
Yeah.
And apparently he didn't leave the facility with like hugs and handshakes with upper management. Again, this is what the stories are that are coming out from the folks that claim they were there.
Right.
So, that said, I would believe him going in to that match. He had already made that decision up in his mind if he kept it from everybody else. And knew this is the best I can possibly do to end my career. Is on this stage, in this environment, giving it to this guy. And for the fans to have shown him the respect the way they did when he was a heel. You're not going to be able to replicate that.
Well, not only that, the respect that Oba showed him at the end of the match when he was heading up the ramp. Have you seen that clip where Oba acts like he's putting on a cowboy hat towards?
No, I don't recall seeing that.
Brock?
Was that like a fan cam?
As he's walking back. No, that was actual WWE footage, but he's like backing up the ramp and he's looking towards the ring at Brock, and he acts like he's putting on a cowboy.
Yeah. I get the gesture.
Like, this is thank you for doing what you did to me. So
that didn't happen. They didn't show it during the live feed on Mania. That I would have seen that.
They didn't. They released this afterwards. But
after they realized they fucked up.
When you were talking about how if Brock comes back and gets squashes and all this stuff gets tarnished, that too. I mean, Oba knew what Brock just did for him, and he respected the hell out of him for that. So you're going to shit on bringing back to get squashed by. I have a feeling Brock says, "Go fuck yourself. I'm done."
Oh, I think he already said it. I don't think there's a saying it thing. Now, they may try and reach out to him in a couple of months, figuring, all right, time. He's had a chance to settle in a little bit, relax. But there's also another side of the conversation where people are saying the diverticulosis is an ongoing issue for him and that he's physically just not up for it anymore. And if that is something that's reoccurring, then, I think he's done.
I mean, that's what cut him short in the UFC.
Yep.
He could have went on there, but that acted up on him then, and he had to leave the UFC.
I love the guy. I thought he did a great job from day one. Man, he was the beast. And I would hate to see him try to rewrite history. This is the greatest wrestling retirement match that never was advertised, It was so ripe in the moment, and the emotion was so real. You saw it in him, and he doesn't show emotion. You saw it in Paul Heyman. Yeah, he can turn it on and off whenever he wants to. That's how he never got killed in ECW when he didn't pay people. Pretty sure he worked those tears up then, too. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. The check's going to clear. Just give it till tomorrow. Please don't kill me. My father's a lawyer. Did I mention? No, I think that I was telling you, and I still can't remember the third occasion. There were 3 occasions in the history of WrestleMania that I found really emotional. Like, this is a special moment. And the one was when Macho Man lost to the Warrior and had to retire, and then Sherry started whooping on him, and Elizabeth jumped in, and the whole place was crying. That was a really great moment. That just you emotionally attached to the characters and the whole 9, and that really just hit. And then there was this one, and there was another one. I just right now, for whatever reason, I haven't been able to think about what it was. I had it in my mind a few weeks ago, and then it went away. There's only a limited amount of room up there anymore, so. Oh, let's see. I did have something else here. Hold that thought a moment. Well, we switch over here to that. So, in case anyone doesn't know, Tommy End signs with TNA Wrestling. Aleister Black is all TNA.
Nice.
At least I'm presuming that's accurate. Yeah, okay. So it looks like it's supposed to be accurate, not fan-made. I hope it's accurate, although that's a pretty quick signing. So that's another thing. If you're an independent contractor and you fire me, I can work tomorrow. I don't have to wait 90 days. Fuck you. If I have to wait 90 days, then I'm not independent. This is what I'm saying. They cannot fight legal battles on that argument. They will lose their asses. And they know it. That's why they settle. Doesn't mention Zelina Vega. I wasn't even aware that they were a couple.
You didn't know they were married?
Nope. Had no idea. Not an idea whatsoever. It explains why they were teamed up, kind of like
Scarlett
and yeah.
Cross. Yeah.
Carrion, there you go. Well, Killer Cross. But yeah, I mean, and now all the more, how good a faction would that be if you had the two couples together? So you got a 4 horseman stable with 2 women and 2 guys. Do it, TNA. Do it.
I could see that working. I could see that fucking working. Actually.
Yeah. No doubt, man. That would be some shit to see the 4 of them together in a pack. Again, we've been talking about the whole thing. Kyrie saying the movement is on. We want Kyrie is trending. Let me just see. Have fun in that. Where is it? What's happening? Where's the trending? Is that the trending thing? I don't follow this shit enough to know, but either way, it's way up there. Let me see if I do a search. Oh, that's a problem. See, people divide and they screw things up. It's not we want Kyrie Sane, it's we want Kyrie. And now somebody's got Kyrie Sane in there too, so that's just going to divide the base. But man, it's everywhere. Look at this feed. I'm telling you, I might tune in tonight just a little bit in the beginning to see if the crowd hijacks the show.
That might be interesting. I might do that too.
I hope that's what happens. Matter of fact, if they hijack the show, I'm staying with it. And hijack the whole fucking 3 hours, man. Fuck them.
I mean, that's what they did with Ron. That's what they hijacked the show and
I mean literally start to finish. Don't take breaks.
nope.
You can take a break during the commercials, which that'll give you plenty of breaks.
Yeah.
But, man, look at this line. See, look at Asuka throwing her to the floor. That's terrible. The girl wrestled great. Look at that. This is what I'm saying. It's like some asshole made a post earlier about y'all crying about this girl being gone. You need to get lives and this and that because she's not even good and whatever it was. I'm like, you're a fucking tool. First off, you can only be so good based on what they're going to give you to do. And if they're going to make you lay down every time, then you're not going to, get that winning loss record. And you're not going to be as top of the line as you should be because they're not letting you. It's not a talent thing. It's a booking thing. Here's one of my favorites right here. That's why I'm telling you she's coming back. We want Cody, we got Cody. We want R-Truth, we got R-Truth. We want Kyrie, I'm telling you, we're going to get Kyrie back. Hell, they even brought back friggin' Dakota Kai and Io back in the day when they got rid of them.
Yeah.
Think about that. They got rid of Io fucking Sky. We forgot, didn't we? I mean, they've got a track record of making really, really bad decisions. Yeah, Killer Cross definitely sounded better than Karrion Cross. And it's all a package. People are going to act like, oh, just the name. It's just a name. You know what? It's not just a name. If the name doesn't, Stunning Steve Austin was pretty good. But he wasn't stone cold.
Stone cold.
Stunning Steve Austin does not go on to win the World Heavyweight Championship. But.
And if nobody has heard his theme music that he's using now on the Independents, it's called Killer Cross. It's on fucking Spotify. Just search Killer Cross. It's fucking fantastic. It works for him.
See, personally, if I was going to put Killer Cross together with Aleister Black, I would call it the Black Rite, like the rite of passage.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man, boy, oh boy, could that do some. This is what I'm saying.
I don't know. Ken's got a good name. He said he'd call them Dark Times. So that's not bad.
I would use that as their finisher move. I'd come up with a good finisher, and it would be Dark Times. But the Black Rite.
Ooh, the finisher would be Aleister hits him with his Black Mass kick, and then Cross hits him from behind with the Cross. What is that? The elbow.
Is that his finisher? Is it like an elbow shot? Kind of like a Judas effect?
Well, it's his signature, but it's his signature move because then he goes into the cross jacket. But
refresh me. What exactly is his finisher move? What's a cross jacket?
It's his version of the Kimura clutch from behind. But I would just say, a nice clean finisher. The Black Mass kick, and then the elbow to the back of the head. Yeah, there's your Dark Times.
Dark times indeed. All right, stick around, folks. When we come back, we're going to do the AAA portion of things here today. Not going to do. You can put a mask on if you want. I was having too much trouble with the mask. The mask for me is just like I'm trying to see my dashboards and my buttons and shit, and it was fucking with my eyes. I didn't like it too much. But, yeah, Retro, we are definitely going to cover our AAA portion of this thing. So stick with us. And let me see something here. I thought I had something queued up. Let me see if I do or not, though. There are parts of OBS that I miss, and part of it is that I could color coordinate things, and I can't do that with this. But here we go.
Wrestling, for some, it is entertainment. For others, it's an escape. For me, for my friends, for my family, it is our life.
How about that? I finally got around to watching season 2. Great show. And the fact that it's kind of ended and they're not doing anything with it, that doesn't work for me, brother. Once again, shout out to my boy Blaze. He's been hooking me up by getting my images uploaded to Community Creation so that I can get them and put them into my stuff, because I can't upload anything to my secondary account. And the stuff that I can upload and grab on my main account, but then I have no way of putting it on Community Creation, so I'm screwed either way on that. But yeah, looking forward to doing something with heels in the near future here. It's going to be totally different, though, than what we usually do around here. It's going to be very much like the show itself, and that's, again, where the AI would play a major role. So if you guys want to have something that's going to be better...
A lot of that.
What's that?
Yeah, because you'll have a lot of stuff outside of the... I was going to say you'll have a lot of scenes outside the ring and stuff like that. So.
And I can make it to a certain degree kind of sort of happen. I mean, I actually went and bought season 1. Season 2 has never been released on physical format, which is bullshit. I'm not going to pay for it digitally because you never own it. The minute someone loses the licensing to it, then all of a sudden you lose it. So if I can't have it physically, I'm not buying it.
But yeah, you're right, Miracle. The cross jacket is basically the Taz mission. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's cool. That's a good one. That would be a good finisher. So anyway, let's talk some AAA since we are back to that point here. My overall reaction, I watched it this morning, and I'll say this, the last 2 weeks, it hasn't hit me like it was hitting me in every week before that. I thought the main event was kind of sloppy. I thought there was a lot of, come on. Like, y'all done this before, haven't you? I mean, once in a match, twice in a match. It was like 4 or 5 times. And you don't generally see that in AAA. That's the one thing that we've both been calling it out on, is they were doing shit flawlessly. And I think the reason for that...
Right.
And I'm going to turn back the hands of time on this one, but back when TNA Impact at the time came here to do their TV program back in 21, the opening match on night 1, it was a 2-night event, the opening match was Laredo Kid against Black Taurus. I knew of them. I hadn't really watched a lot of either of them. I was there with my, at the time, girlfriend. She'd never been to wrestling before. They put on a match that I'll put up against any match in history. It was phenomenal. Perfect. Every move, the timing, the landings, inside the ring, outside the ring. It was a phenomenal match. And I looked at her and I says, these guys are not going to be very welcome right now. She's like, what do you mean? I said, they just set a bar that no one's going to match. And they're the opening show, opening night, day 1, opening match of the show. I said, the good news is everyone in the back just saw that and is like, fuck, we got to go to work. And it was a great show. I remember it was a great show. But what I remember about that show was that match. I couldn't tell you the main event. I'm sure if I went through my old phones, pictures of my phone, that I'd find it. But I am just telling you right now, that match. Well, then I come to find out, they got about 50 of those matches because they've been wrestling each other for years. I think the reason this match didn't hold up is they aren't familiar with each other.
Right.
You brought back this Texano Jr., Texano, however you pronounce it, Texano Jr., who was a big deal in AAA. Once upon a time, he's been gone for 5 years. And, you know, he's going up against El Macias. El Macias was a big deal back in TNA way back when, in Lucha Underground. How long ago was that?
Yeah.
And that was when he was in his prime. You look at El Macias in the ring today. Come on. Let's be serious, shall we?
Yeah, because I remember the first time I saw El Macias was in Lucha Underground, and he went against Vampiro, and they beat the shit out of each other.
And who was president back then? Probably Reagan. No. I'm just saying, you know, you put all these combinations together, a great match it do not make.
Right.
So, all right, let's go over it, though, the list. The non-title champion versus champion match. This was a good match. You had the AAA Latin American champion, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. That's a lot. We'll just call him Doc for short. Defeating AAA World Cruiserweight champion Laredo Kid, who I was just talking about. Laredo Kid is a dude who just fucking knows how to have a match, man. Guy is amazing. Dr. Wagner is amazing. Both great talents. Good match. I wasn't expecting a clean outcome. I thought somebody was going to run in and jump one of them or something like that, and we're going to get a, you know, no contest or something. But that's not the way it turned out. Wagner got the win.
Yep.
With his Wagner
And then
bomb,
you've
Wagner
also
driver.
got At the Laredo Kid go against Ray Phoenix for the title. That's going to be fucking phenomenal.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I don't like the fact that they're trying to turn Laredo bad. There was no reason for it. They tried doing it at the end of the match itself, and at first he kind of acted like a bit of a heel, and then he accepted the handshake and all, was kind of, you know, looking like it's all right. It was just a momentary thing, and you can sell that, and that works. That's perfectly fine. He should be upset he lost. Then he's in the locker room in the back, and Phoenix comes up to him and tries to console him, and he's like, I know what you want. You just don't want to be the brother without a title or some shit. You don't need it. There's times where it works, and there's times where you just don't need to let them fucking have a match. The match will do it all. I wish more companies would just allow two people. When you look at Real American Freestyle, some of these guys kind of come off heelish because they are trying to play up to the fans. They do it in UFC. You got the guys act like total douchebags. Yeah. They want to get people mad at them, want to get them heated up. Sometimes they, and I'm convinced some of these times when it happens, them and their opponent after the weigh-ins and they get on, you know, that little scrappy thing and everyone pulls them apart, they're probably back there popping a beer together. That's my belief.
Right.
So I just don't see that it needs to be. If you have two people that can put on a match like we know they will put on, then let them just have the damn match and we'll be fine with that. Doesn't have to be. Last I heard, maybe I need to watch it again because, you know, my memory. I feel like Roddy Piper and Bret Hart had a pretty good match once upon a time for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
And last I heard, they were both baby faces in that match. And they ended as baby faces when the match was over. Huh. I guess you can do it. It needs to be done. It's just too much. The good guy, bad guy thing, yeah, it's got to be there to a degree. Out of 7 matches, you could do a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
And that's 3 and 3, and then the one in the middle, you could have a heel turn. There's your half. Tag team match, El Grande Americano and Texan. We talked about that already against El Macias and Mecha Wolf. Mecha Wolf's another one's been around a minute. You know, he's got a little bit of juice left in him, but he's no spring chicken.
Yep.
Tag team match, Ray Phoenix and La Parca defeating Money Machine, who I had not seen before. Have you seen Money Machine prior?
Yeah, they were on about 3-4 weeks ago.
The only thing I can think of is if they were on when they didn't have the U.S. commentary, because I might have skipped through it. Again, if I don't have the U.S. commentary, it's just not going to work for me.
No, they were on during the. It was Money Machine and La Hadra against
Yeah.
Iguana and Lola Vice, and then they had one other guy with them, and I can't remember who the other guy was with them. But it was a
Okay, I do
six-man tag.
recall Iguana and Lola Vice tagging up not too long ago. So I guess I just didn't memorize them too well. So it is what it is. But you got Gara de Oro and Colmillo do Plata. Yeah, that just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it?
What if you were Spanish?
It might. That might help. Anyway, that was your main event. And I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was all right. Overall, as an overall show for AAA, compared to like the weeks before, last week's not so
Right.
much because it was Mania and they didn't even have the American broadcast team, so I won't even rate that. But you look at the week before that, that was a 10. 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago was a 10. The week before that was a 9. The week before that was probably an 8.5. This week I'm saying 7, and I'm being a little bit kind.
Yeah, I was going to say it was kind of a downgrade.
Okay,
from what
I
we've
feel
been
better
seeing.
hearing you say it. I'm thinking all the time
Oh,
I'm
no,
watching it.
because-
While I'm watching it, I'm thinking to myself, how much of this is me really just not liking AAA the way I like to like AAA? And how much of it is me
Right.
seeing and feeling the banner of TKO over the product now where it spoiled it for everything for me?
No, it's not that. I don't think. Like I said, I was watching it and working on schoolwork, and it got to the point where I was listening more to it than and working on schoolwork because the matches just weren't flowing right to get me to have that constant attention to it like it has in the past weeks. Had it been like that through the whole show, the schoolwork would have got put off till the next day is how that would have worked. But
And
yeah,
honestly,
it wasn't it,
that's almost the same
I was gonna
scenario.
say-
I was over here working on shit for the shows.
yeah.
And I had it on the other screen. I'd kind of glance over and I'd listen and I'd look over. And by the way, I know there was one thing about it that I wasn't happy about. Which match are we talking about here? Let me think here. Was it Americana Grande? No, it was what's the name? It was the Wagner match. Where Wagner from the apron slams Laredo onto the floor. Full on backdrop. Yeah, he dropped him as flat as you could ever want, and he bounced off that floor a good 4 inches. And I'm right back there again. I'm like, motherfuckers, why? For what reason? There's no... this is a legit situation where someone is likely going to get hurt. That, even if you finish a match, that is going to be the thing you remember the most. I mean, granted, anyone that knows anything about a wrestling ring knows that they're not exactly cushions. All right, it's not a sofa. You're not, when you're with your little brother back in the day on the mattress. It ain't like that. But it's better than a concrete floor with that
Yeah, but
fucking padding that you had in high school gym class.
See, I can defend that more than I can defend a Sol Ruka spot because
Oh yeah,
that-
I could too, but I
like I
think they
said-
both suck equally. Well, maybe not equally.
No, not equally. I mean, you might be sore after that, but you're not risking your life on something like that. It really had to been really fucked up for him to be in life-threatening danger from a power slam to the floor.
Yeah, well, you
So-
tell that to Jack.
I don't have as
You tell that to Jack Spade.
tell that to who? I'm just saying. I mean, fuck, you got draws who got paralyzed for life
Yep.
from a pile driver in the ring.
Yep.
So
Look,
shit
we know
happens.
there's a risk involved. I'm not arguing that.
But-
What I'm saying is, why do you want to up the odds?
Well,
There's no good reason for it.
I guess from my personal point of view, I've taken those kind of bumps, and for the most part, I'm still walking, I'm still breathing.
Okay, so when you were taking these
The
bumps,
ones
buddy,
where I jumped off that,
when you were taking these bumps, how tall were you?
I'm 5'11".
Were you 5'11" then?
Yes.
Okay, just trying to figure out if you lost any inches. Hogan went down. He got quite shorter after time. All right, so you were 5'11". What were you weighing in at when you were taking the bumps?
225.
Okay. Do you want to compare that in your bone density? You want to compare all that to Sol Ruca?
No.
That's my point.
I'm just saying.
They're having people like her and even Laredo. He's not a full-size adult. He's just the full size he's going to be. Okay? I'm just saying. There's these guys that are like Mark Henry and built like beef, and they can take a thumping, and it's not going to feel the same to them. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt. I'm saying he can withstand that type of thing better than Laredo, and certainly better than Sol Ruca, who has no business taking that fall at all. You can also make the argument, and I know somebody will.
I agree with you on that.
Is because she only weighs 120 pounds. There's only so much centrifugal force or whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's a 20-foot drop. Momentum builds energy.
Yeah.
And that table,
And
even if she'd have caught both
fact-
tables, it's not going to absorb that energy.
It's also scientific fact that when something's thrown from a height, no matter what the weight, they both fall at the exact same speed. So that plays no part in.
They
them
come at the
falling
same
from
speed,
height.
but that doesn't mean they hit with the same impact. You drop a penny and you drop a quarter. The quarter is likely going to go deeper into the ground than the penny. It is, because it weighs more.
No, right. But
But
I
at the
don't
same
know.
time,
like I said, that
at the same time, get a 1 ounce glass, a 1 ounce glass ball, or even a cement ball, 1 ounce of cement, and take a 1 ounce egg and drop both of them and see what happens to each one. Sol Ruca's an egg. In comparison, if you're going to make her drop 15 feet through a table onto a regular floor, you might as well throw an egg.
well, and that's the point. Is like that spot was ridiculous. She'd been better off, like I said earlier, where somebody in the chat said, give her a 5 through the table. Yes, I agree with that. But the power slam, and I guess that spot just didn't bother me that much because, like I said, I've taken stuff like that before. So
Blazed Radio is in the
now
house.
diving out the ring for a female and their feet getting caught, or anybody getting caught up and landing on their head, yeah, that shit's got to stop too. If you can't clear that fucking middle rope, don't fucking do it.
Well, the second time had nothing to do with clearing the rope. It's just the way the body went through, and then the way Asuka caught her. But that was still partly on Io for not.
Yeah.
You know, you should be coming chest to chest on that thing, not, catch my ass. I mean, I would do it, but Blaze is here to save the business again. Can't thank you enough for that, buddy. Every time. Where would I be without you? Probably employed. I don't know. I heard a rumor that Lucha Underground was coming back under the... Oh, no. Under the TKO
Look at-
banner?
See,
No.
after all the shit he's pulled in the last couple of weeks.
No, that
can
can't
you
be true.
fucking believe that?
It can't be true
Or is it
because what are
just-
they going to do? Compete with themselves? I mean, granted, back in the day, Lucha Underground was feeding off of AAA. But why would you want two AAA companies? I mean, granted, you'd have one base in the U.S., I guess. I don't know, man. I hope not. Otherwise, there goes any hope I had of a program that I can get behind. It's not April 1st, asshole, so you better not be fucking with me. WWE doesn't need to own every wrestling promotion property.
That's true.
Yes, they do. When they sell it to Saudi, they want to own the world. I think I was talking to you and I the other day. We were talking about Maven's latest video, or at least it was as of a day or so ago. where he was at Mania 42 and I think it was night 1, and he was basically outside the entranceway where people start coming into Allegiant. And just sitting there talking to fans, doing some quick photo ops and stuff like that before his other commitment was to kick in. And he was basically asking the question that I know I've had on my mind. For all those seats that were sold, what the fuck do you people do for a living? That you have that kind of money to literally light on fire.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he started asking him, and it was everything from, there were a couple of people who had, money jobs, corporate America money jobs. And then there were several people that just saved like it was Disney. Back when you could afford to go to Disney. Disney now is WrestleMania. I mean, it's a life-changing event that you are going to lose a lot of your life over. And, man, these people did not have that kind of money. But here was the thing that made me feel better. A lot of them, one guy paid $300 for both nights. Because he waited until the last minute.
How'd he do that?
He walked up like I said.
Wow.
I said, they aren't selling these tickets.
Yeah.
Just walk up to the fucking window. And sure as hell he did and got $150 a night. They were nosebleed seats, but fuck it, you're there. For $300 for 2 nights, and I think he lived locally, so you're not paying hotel or anything. Fuck it. That's the way to do it. And that's also the new thing now. People are starting to realize, by the way, you know what they still had 500 tickets outstanding for the Hall of Fame. Did you know that?
No.
They hadn't sold 500 tickets. They discounted them hours before the show to $30. So the new memo to the world is, do not pre-purchase tickets for the WWE. Guess what? Just show up and save a fortune.
I'm going to test that. I want to test that theory. The show that's here in Ohio, I will go on the day of and purchase a ticket and see what kind of discount I can get for it. I won't get ahead like I normally do.
But in the meantime, look to see, like screenshot whatever the Ticketmaster price is like today. Yeah. And then,
I'll look at it when we're done.
Now, granted, you might not get the greatest seats in the world and you might not be able to sit where you want to sit. But if you're going to save $2,000, come on. I mean, for fuck's sake. I've been to 2 Manias. And I was okay with the seats. I mean, they weren't lower bowl in either case.
Right.
But they were all right. I could see enough. And then you had the Jumbotrons and, the last one, which was the one with the roller coaster and all that shit. We were right there off the stage. So when they came out, they were right on my left shoulder. So facing the stage, we were on the left side. And I'll never forget when the Hardy Boys came out that night. That was their return to WWE.
Yeah.
Yep. And when they came out, we saw them as they were getting ready to step out into the public view. So we got to see them first.
Wasn't that the one where the New Day basically announced them being back?
They were the hosts of the WrestleMania. They were the hosts.
Right.
Yep. That was the same night Bayley won her first major title. That was the same night that Roman and Undertaker closed the show, but me and my cousin left because we did not want to watch Roman go over, which we knew he was going to. Ken Rogers says, the sad part is with all the wrestling properties they do own, they could incorporate all of them on every WWE 2K game, /patch for all of them, logos, rings, and wrestlers. Yet they barely bother to use them. There's been talk, Ken, that might make you happy. I don't know if you've got 2K26. If you don't get it. But if you do, there has been rumors that Evolve stuff is going to be in either Season 3, 4, 5, or 6. So that might include an arena, might include a belt. I don't know about talent. Possibly. Then people are going to bitch and moan about, well, who the fuck is this person? I never heard of before. Yeah. Would you rather that, or do you want Rhea Ripley coming out as an android? I mean, these are your choices at this point in time. I honest to God, I just want to hit a fast forward button just to see how bad 2K takes it up the ass next year. I think it's going to be record low sales like they've never experienced before in any game. I think they are going to be off. I'm not joking when I say this. I think they're going to be 50% off of their marks. 50%. I think they've done so much damage this year that even some, not all, but even some of the hardcore YouTubers, content creators that buy the damn game are going to say not this time. I just can't anymore. I really think it's going to happen.
I know you watch Kenny Bomb. Do you watch a guy called Just Brian?
Yep. Young guy.
Okay. So you see what he has been saying about the game too, because he's one of those. He's like, look, this isn't what we expect from a 2K game. He's like,
no, actually, it is what I expect from a 2K game. It's not what I expect from a $150 game.
Well, yeah. But the last thing I saw him talking about was those Persona cards, and he's like, the only thing I'm going to use off these, and which I said to you, is the entrances. There's nothing with them. I won't ever use those models or anything like that. So he's the same way. He's like, why am I? Mm-hmm. And then he was also talking about the world tour, and he said the same thing you did. He's like, last year I got all the way to Chicago. He's like, I can barely get halfway through the world. He's like, I'm done. He's like, I can't play this anymore because you've made shit too hard to do.
And that's why I stopped very quickly this year.
I agree. I think, yeah.
When I saw the experts,
I tried Orlando. I tried the beginning part.
Yeah, and that's easy normally.
I tried the beginning part. I can't get past it. I can't beat that triple threat. I just can't.
I tried one. Well, all you got to do is watch Kenny Bomb. Kenny Bomb has all the little tricks and the nuances, and you got to stand outside the ring, and then you got to come back in the ring and sneak them in, and then hit them as they come into the ring, then go right back outside the ring again. Hey, Brian Mazik, is that us having to play the game the right way? You piece of shit? Telling us we're not playing the game right, you motherfucker?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. If I can't be in the ring and beat the other two people like I can in any other mode, fuck it, I'm good.
Yep. End of the day, they're the ones losing out on this, and there's no way you're going to convince me that they're not. There are people, and I don't understand them. I will never understand them. I don't care if you have the money or not. There are people that are buying packs somehow or another. Now, I don't think that number is high, and I don't think they're spending enough to make up for all the losses this year for 2K. But honest to God, I pray, I know it won't happen this year, but that next year they take such a bath that it bankrupts them. I don't know what's up with the NBA audience. I mean, I have not touched an NBA 2K game in so long, and the last one I did was because it was a free game of the month. And honestly, it's just an NBA game again, like it always was. But that's for me, because the only thing I ever do is I play a season mode, and I'll pick whatever team I'm going to play as, and I'll go through the season. These other folks, they're wanting to do the whole online experience, and they want to have the right shoes, man. They want to go and buy the bling, and they want to have this so they could go out and play on the outside court. It's like, try doing it for real, okay? It's much better for you. Much better for you. I saw this other guy whose name I can never remember. So if you're watching Just Brian and you're watching Kenny, then you've seen this guy too. I just can't think of his name. Heavy set white guy. That's the best I got for you. Anyway.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He was talking about, he had a commercial spot, a sponsor for a gaming chair. And normally I fast forward through commercials, but I was busy doing something else and I was kind of listening to it. And he says, this is the biggest gaming chair I've ever had. It is so comfortable, and it's got this, and it's got these magnetic things for your back, and it's got that, and it can support up to 400 pounds. Most gaming chairs only support 300. And I put comments down below. I'm like, if somebody's problem is that they're 400 pounds, get out of a fucking gaming chair and go take a walk. The chair is not your problem. You are your problem.
And the cheeseburgers. Put the fucking McDonald's.
Hey. Cheeseburgers are perfectly fine. Yeah, auto-corrected. I'm sorry, man. I don't get it. You're right. NBA fans don't hold them again. They piss and moan. But they just keep plunking it down year after year after year. For what? It's the same damn game.
Now I will say this. I was looking through games on Steam yesterday. And I think 2K overall has taken a hit because they've got this year's 2K golf at 75% off right now. 75% off because it's not selling.
I told you it was the game of the month. It was free. I didn't even download it for free.
Yeah.
I was like, it's got 2K on it. I will not for free. I won't take it. If it's got 2K on it moving forward, I will have nothing to do with it ever again. This experience has been so horrific. It's not Mr. Dubs, Ken. Gosh, Sarah's going to piss me off that I can't remember.
I can't think of his name.
The last time I saw him, I even tried to commit it to memory because I knew it was going to come up, and it's gone now. But I think we've covered everybody else, so if you come up with another slightly overweight white guy, it's got to be him. He was one of the guys that got invited to Connecticut for the pregame release to test it. So if that helps narrow things down a little bit. I'll know it if I hear it. And it's not his name. It's like the channel name.
Right.
And he has a commercial spot for a 400-pound gaming chair.
Yeah, Ken, me and my brother, we try to model ourselves after the Hardy Boys when we were wrestling and stuff. So, yeah. But, I mean...
Striker.
Took some crazy bumps.
Is there a guy, Miracle, is there a guy, he's got main event too, but is there a guy named Striker or something like that? Stryker or something like that. Is it main event Striker? That's who I'm talking about. And he's been trying to be nice too because, again, they invited his ass to Connecticut, right? So you only want to bite the hand so much. But he's being straight up, man. It's like, this is bad. It's not good. I'm not playing it anymore. There was another guy in a much smaller channel. I hadn't seen him before. Talking about, I'm sure a lot of you have been at the same spot where you're on the main screen with all these little options you can scroll through. And you just don't even know why you're here because you don't want to play it. And I'm like, I have done that. I've loaded the game up. I've scrolled a little bit. I've thought, and I'm like, I'm going to go play Rocket League. And I just back out. It's been such a horrible fucking experience. On Saturday, oh my God, I haven't put the video together yet. On Saturday, we have the main event, which I announced as a no disqualification match. Of course, it was actually a bloodline match because they have to have the Horsemen do run-ins. That's how they kept the titles.
Right.
During the entrance, they're getting ready to do the announcements in this corner and in this corner. And they do the camera pulls back to show you the arena and the ring and the champion with the belt over the shoulder. And down at the end of the ramp by the entrance are all 6 of the other guys that are going to run in on the match. It's like a curtain call standing on stage. I'm like, fucking spoiler alert or what? I was like, I heard of curtain calls, but holy shit, right there on the stage? They're too lazy to make their cues?
Funny.
Oh my God. I was like, man, 2K, you are a laughing stock. Brian Mazik, you should be embarrassed. Don't tell us how to play the game. Fucking learn how to make one, you piece of shit. You sorry sack of shit. Go find a job you're good at. There's got to be a hamburger flipper somewhere needing a position filled. You can't make video games, son.
Autocorrect, it said it's Strizer?
Striker.
Strizer?
Striker. Ken has it. Main event it's Striker. I'm 99% sure.
Okay.
But that's the one I was trying to think of a couple of times now. So if you need a 400-pound gaming chair, he's got somebody you can hook you up with.
I thought we were going into an airplane reference. You kept saying striker, striker, striker.
Surely you can't be
Wait for
serious
somebody
right
to
now.
punch me.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. There you go.
If you're too young to understand that, go watch the movie.
And if you know all about that, it's time to get your colonoscopy.
I can speak.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Well,
Movies they can't make today.
sure they can. They can now. Thank you, Sydney Sweeney.
Well, yeah.
Nobody's ever going to give that girl the credit she truly deserves, man. Doing that Gene commercial, it just smacked the fucking left right in the mouth and said, fuck off, we're going to do what we want to do. And then that Gene sold millions. I even went and bought a pair. I did. I'm not joking. American Eagle. Well, they're not. Well, they do men's as well. American
Well,
Eagle.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'll
As long as it makes your ass look good,
I will
guess you're
support.
okay.
Well, I ain't going to look as good as hers no matter what, but that's all right. That's besides the point. I'm going to support a company that supports normal.
Yeah.
Period. And the fact that
I
they can
agree.
do a good old-fashioned Gene commercial without Dylan Mulvaney pretending to be a woman. Motherfuckers. Good times. All right, folks. I think with that, we're about done on this end. Jay, tell everyone where to find your stuff, because Jay's back to posting videos.
Yeah, if I can get the upload speed to pick up, but I do have a few new videos up there. It's at JRock73 Multimedia Incorporated.
Say it again, because you were garbled up again. Your internet's been garbling a bit.
JRock73 Multimedia Incorporated, or JRock73. And you all know what my logo looks like. It looks like a Mandalorian. So, yeah.
There we go. J-Rock 73 should get you hooked up. Willie D's in the house, sneaking in the back door.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Pro Wrestling Shoot. I watched Pro Wrestling Shoot a bunch, too. I'm not sure if I was talking about him or not. But, yeah, the main event striker was the dude in particular that I was trying to come up with a name on, if that's what we're all talking about. So, but thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. All right, that is going to wrap us up for this one. And like I said to Jay, he's not watching the product anymore. I'm not going to watch it anymore. I can't. I just, there's nothing about it that's entertaining anymore. It's gone. It's AEW 2.0. It's shit. It's just shit. So what I will do, though, is clips going to show up on my Twitter feed, which, by the way, I got everything updated on the screen now. So all that information is nice, new, and accurate. So you can find us, obviously, on YouTube. You're already probably watching us here at One Nation Network. However, if you're on Twitch and you're watching us, this is where you can find us on YouTube. Tonight, 5 o'clock, it'll be on both simulcast on YouTube and on Twitch will be the Monday Night Wars. And on Tuesdays, it is exclusive to Twitch, which is a house show. This week, it'll be WWF house show. And I think we're going to be at either the Meadowlands or the Coliseum in Nassau. I don't know which one yet. But that's what's going on with that. And then, of course, Twitch, or Twitter, rather, is just Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. So you can always hit me up there if you have any direct messaging you need to do. The magazine is up for this week. It's on the post, the community tab. Easy to say, right? Community tab here on the YouTube channel. They come out once a week right now. It might end up going to bi-weekly at some point because it is a little time-consuming. We'll see how that turns out. But right now I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm glad we have that as another conduit to telling the stories to make up for what 2K absolutely refuses to give us in the game. That said, again, if you want to help us get a better quality story out to you, AI is our friend when it comes to creating some stuff that we can't get out of the game itself. It's $192 a year. I can't flip that bill on my own right now. I don't have an income. I'm living on savings. And I've got to be a little bit more frugal than I used to be when I had that steady income and I could just drop money. Can't do that anymore. So that's where you guys are going to have to decide if you want to help out, even if it's only $4 or $5, whatever you can spare. And when we hit 192, I'll let you know and we can stop. And that'll cover us for a year where I can start putting some really cool clips together and making things happen. Even if you look at what happened on Saturday, you'll notice that it was a kind of go-between something that looked very realistic to the video game to something that was back to realistic again. And that's because I had run out of money. The money I gave them, I'd used it all up. What I would have done is taken those 2 clips and I would have re-entered them and I would have changed the commands around and all that. But again, if you don't have one of those annual plans, that those points go real quick and then they're gone. So the link down below will have, or the description box down below will have a link for the PayPal account if you are so inclined to donate. In the meantime, say goodbye, Jay.
Goodbye, Jay.
Goodbye, everybody, and remember...
Bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle. Goodbye.
And the news has come out that Chris Jericho has returned home. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Dr. Wagner Jr. and almost. The man who I've always said is almost a wrestler.
What could he have possibly done for the WWE? This is taking one of your top talents. This is the future of your women's division, and you almost ended it.